Today, 15% of Uber's inventory is fleets. How do you see that number growing in the future? Do REITs accelerate it?
The 15% that Uber talks about is mostly international, right? In order to get into India, they had to partner with taxi companies because the ability for car owners to plug into the Uber network as we know it here in the United States just doesn't exist to the same extent. So I think in the US, it's a lot lower, and they probably want to get that up to, let's call it 50% within 5 years. The bigger question, though, Grayson, is at what point does that fleet inventory, let's say it's 50% fleets, so that's the subset of the total rides that are in Uber, and let's call it the United States, within 5 years, when does that subsegment become autonomous? Or what percentage of that is autonomous and in what year?
20, 30, 1%, maybe 2%.
That's it? 1% of the total, so 2% of the fleet. No way. I think it's going to be higher than that. I'm going to say 10x that. 10% total, 10% of the fleet. So let's say it's 5% of the total trips within 5 years. I think that's going to prove to be conservative too. I feel like I want to already raise that. I want to say 10 to 20, meaning 10 of the total, 20% of what is actual fleets, with the remaining 50% still being human drivers filling in for the peak time of rides.
Are you looking at this from a US perspective or a global perspective? Because my number will change if it's a US perspective versus a global perspective.
I'm going to say both. At that point, I think they're trying to get to 50% in the US as it is. It's going to be tight, right? 5 years. But I think once the model kind of changes, it's going to happen fast.
Globally, 1 to 2%. United States, 7 to 10%.
Oh, okay. So now you're jacking it for the US.
Yes, because the US is going to see the largest adoption. If we follow the breadcrumbs that Waymo's leaving for us and you look at their scale, you look at where May Mobility is going and you look at the development of this technology, we're at an inflection point. We're about to hit a hyper growth scale. If you want to use the hockey stick growth standpoint, we're about to hit that pretty substantially.
You may be right. I mean, there's markets that are like Germany, for example, that are very restrictive. Elon's talked about the challenges regulatory wise that he's had in Europe. So I hadn't really thought about it on a global basis. Maybe there's a differential there. We'll see. But, those markets will also theoretically benefit from accepting Chinese vehicles, Chinese autonomous vehicles in their markets, which will be subsidized and low price. So maybe you can drive penetration. It's similar, if not faster, in some of these markets outside of the United States.